Logo, BAME Vision.
Oh, hi, Bhavini.
Hi, who's that?
We've got Roxana here.
Oh, hello, Roxana. And good afternoon to everyone who's joining us. I do want to alert you to the fact that this meeting is being recorded and we're live on our BAME Vision Facebook page. You should be muted upon entering and your cameras off during the session and especially when speakers are presenting. At the moment, it's fine. We're just waiting for people to come in. And yeah, welcome, Roxana. I'm really excited. I know you've got your members with you watching. So hello to everyone there. Who have we got with us? Aqua. Hi, Aqua. I'm good. Is Tahira with you? Hi, Tahira. Colin's good, thank you. For anyone don't know who Colin is, Colin's my guide dog. Yeah, we're looking forward to getting started, and yeah, we will definitely come back to you, Roxana, and thank you all all of your members for joining in. And welcome to the fourth workshop that we are hosting through BAME Vision for National Eye Health Week. And for those of you who might not be aware, I'm Beverley Duguid, the chair of BAME Vision, and we've been hosting these workshops just to promote the key messages around National Eye Health Week. Vision Matters, the organization, the charity that campaigns to improve information, to encourage people to get their eyes checked regularly. They have different themes. National Eye Health Week usually runs on the third week every September, so it's an annual event. And we have been focusing our workshops. So we've had the beginning and a real introduction to a National Eye Health Week and this year's themes. And the workshops we've been focusing on, an introduction to BAME Vision, who we are, why we are, what our mission and vision is. You will get recordings to all of them, but the information is also on our website, www.bamevision.org. We had a session around the different conditions that are most prevalent in BAME communities, and especially over the age of 60. So we covered diabetes, diabetic retinopathy, macular, glaucoma, cataracts, and we had a session on Tuesday which really highlighted the importance why regular eye screening is so important, because it can detect so much. Yesterday we spoke about eye tests in terms of why it's important to get your eyes tested regularly, what can be detected from an eye test, who may be eligible for a free eye test, and actually a home visit. And each of those workshops had a lived experience person speaking about their own eye condition that they're living with, and also tapping into some of the cultural barriers or some of the stigmas they may have faced and how they've overcome those. We also myth busted, so certain cultures, we have certain myths around extracts from juice, whether it's vegetable fruit juices, or animals, whether it's taken as a drink or exerted into our eyes as a way of curing sight loss. So we really defined actually how harmful some of those can be. And on to today's session. Today is the fourth session, and the focus and the theme for this today is mental health awareness and mindfulness, because we all may not be aware actually how stress, anxiety, and symptoms of mental health awareness can actually impact our vision, can impact our general mental health, which in turn can then impact on our eyesight. So we'll really be focusing on the link between the two. we will hear from Wayne Chapman. So along the series, we've been, you've been introduced to members from our committee, and again today you'll be hearing from two more. So Wayne Chapman, an eye care specialist at See Ability, another organization who is represented on BAME Vision. He'll be talking about his role and much more. We'll then hear from Beverley Duguid, who has a research background, has glaucoma, but also is a mindfulness practitioner. So we'll hear more about her. And today's lived experience speaker is Maxine Plowden, who'll be talking about living with Coloboma. And I hope I pronounced that right, because actually it was a new condition that I've only just become recently aware of. And then finally, we have a session for Q&A. So if you have any questions, please pop them in the chat. The chat function is being monitored, but if it's easier, feel free to unmute at that point and ask your question, and we'll be happy to answer any. So we'll get started. If you're able to, please stay on mute, just so that we can hear the speakers clearly. And just to remind you all again, this session is being recorded, and you'll have a link to watch it back. Wayne, so yeah, Wayne, over to you.
Are you there, Wayne?
Whilst Wayne is sorting himself out, perhaps we can change the order slightly. Beverley, do you want to talk about mindfulness?
Yes, I can. Yes, that will be probably a better thing to do.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, okay. So did you want to introduce me, or shall I just do myself? I don't mind.
Yeah, feel free to introduce yourself.
Yeah, okay. So my name is Beverley Duguid. I'm a freelance researcher and historian, and I recently set up a business called Insight Mind, which is really an inclusive wellness business which helps underrepresented groups practice mindfulness, and I'm developing all sorts of courses at the moment. So yes, that's me. So what is mindfulness? I'm not sure how many people have practiced mindfulness on the call, but it's a way of being in the present moment. And it's difficult to explain when you say in the present moment, but it's drawing attention to your senses, to your sensations in the body as a way of relaxation and a way of trying to combat stress and anxiety. So Mind is a very good organization, the mental health charity Mind. And they say it's a technique you can learn which involves making a special effort to notice what's happening in the present moment, like I've just said. So in your mind, your body, and your surroundings, without judging anything. And that's the important thing for me with mindfulness. I tried lots of meditation in the past. I took to mindfulness because it helped me to not judge myself and to just accept what is. And that's the way I continued with it, and why I took to mindfulness. So I started mindfulness around 2015, and I was working, had some issues with my eyes, maybe about, well, 2009 was when my glaucoma was diagnosed. And I went through a couple of eye operations by that time. As a result of glaucoma, I was suffering from really bad chronic headaches. I mean, it was a mixture of lots of different things, but you do, I mean, as from the workshops we've had. Hello?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. As the workshops earlier this week, you may have heard about glaucoma. It's an eye condition which is caused by optic nerve damage, picked up on routine eye tests, so please get your eyes checked if you know any family members, particularly prevalent in the African Caribbean community. So basically I went and had my eyes test, glaucoma was picked up. I have peripheral vision loss in one eye and glaucoma in both eyes. And like I was saying, as a result of this, I was developing chronic headaches because of, well, the issues with glaucoma is the light persist, difficulty with with light, daylight and bright light causes headaches. And I recently started a job where I was on the computer and started to use assistive technology for the first time, which I need a lot of magnification to help me see and do my work. So yeah, so I started, I'd realized that I loved meditation. I loved alternative therapies, which is something I'd always used, herbalism, homeopathy, etc. And so I decided to go and try mindfulness. So I, you know, with a little bit of skepticism, I went along and was surprised how much I took to it. So we can do a practice of mindfulness a bit later. But one of the things that I wanted to stress is why I advocate mindfulness as something for people with visual impairments to use, is that it helps you to engage with your other senses. So, you know, for me, it was forgetting about my eyes for a little while, just going into a meditation, into a practice, and just concentrating on maybe the sensations in my body, the headaches I was having, concentrating on sounds maybe. And so in my meditation and my classes with VI people, I've developed meditations around sound. So concentrating on other senses that you use and developing those sounds. So also developing your sense of taste, of touch, as well, is another way of using mindfulness. So mindfulness allows us to concentrate on these different areas in our body. So one of the first mindfulness practices you might learn is mindfulness of breathing, where you use the breath as an anchor. So you concentrate on your normal breath, and then each time your mind wanders, you go back to that anchor, which is the breath. So you know, the other reason, so as well as the senses, which I found that I took to, as well as the non-judgmental practice, it was the fact that I was able to use these other different types of meditations. There's more than one type of meditation to combat what was the things that was going on for me. So one of the things I was going to talk about, was the non-judgmental, concentrating on the senses, but also being compassionate and kind to yourself. That's the other thing. Cultivating compassion is a big part of mindfulness. So letting yourself off the hook for you know, the things that you're worrying about. The other thing mindfulness can do is coping with fight or flight. So this is the body's natural reaction to fear. So it's an age-old sense that we have, natural sense that we have to get away from something that's in danger, that's endangering us. What will happen if you're suffering from anxiety is this fight or flight is actually, you know, heightened, and it happens for no reason. So you might be fearful of something that's happening in your life. You might have gone through recent sight loss, and you might be fearful about the future. This fight or flight sense is heightened. And what mindfulness can do is dampen that that sensation of feeling like you have to flee. So I've suffered from panic attacks in the past, and your body will take over. It's an actual physiological thing, and there's lots written on fight or flight. And my body would just take over. And what happens then is that your body then produces too much adrenaline. And this can be dangerous for your body. This can lead to high blood pressure, can lead to problems, could lead to problems with your eyes, because after all, particularly with glaucoma, the weakening of your optic nerve at the back of your eye, those are veins, just as well as other veins in your body. So, you know, if you have too much cortisol in your body, which is the actual fluid that releases into your body when you go into fight or flight, or you get anxious, then you can have too much of this running around in your body. So what mindfulness does is deal with those symptoms. It doesn't deal with the original like pain that you might have from maybe an injury. It can't really deal with that pain. It will deal with the emotional results of pain. So depression, anxiety, that can result from chronic pain or chronic conditions. So these spiraling thoughts that you might have because of your anxiety, or, you know, impending doom, you know, you might get really worried about one particular thing and hold on to it. these are the things that mindfulness can help you, because it helps you to stop, pause, accept that situation at present, forget the past, forget the future, and be just in that present moment with your breath, and lets you calm down and relax. And that's the aim of mindfulness, basically, really just to help you just to relax in that moment. And all the different mindfulness practices that you might use has that same intention, to try and get you to be in the present moment, cope with these signs of stress that you might have. So for example, if you're not sleeping, might lead to restlessness, low mood, eventually depression, might lead you to withdrawing from your family, your friends, not feel like talking, and then you might develop panic attacks, anxiousness, and the physical things that you might get will be racing heart, palpitations, and this feeling of fear is one of the things that mindfulness again helps with. So, and the like I said, the fight or flight. And some people actually get physical aches and pains as well as a result of that. So my thing with my mindfulness is to help you to engage with your other senses. If you have a visual impairment, think about sound, like I said, touch, concentrate on sound in your meditation. And, you know, I don't shy away from mentioning eyes when I do meditation. You might think, you know, that when you go into a meditation, initially the teacher might say, close your eyes. And you might think, well, why do I have to close my eyes? Why do I have to think about my eyes? But I don't shy away from that. But I let people be as they want to be in the meditation.
Okay.
So we could practice a short one now, or at the end, or during the Q&A, we can practice that. But as long as I can get across to you that, you know, it's about pausing, being present, and being gentle with yourself, kind and compassionate, and not judging yourself at all about where you are in your life and what you're going through.
Yeah, thank you, Beverley. That was interesting and a good insight, you know, a real good taster into what mindfulness is. And yeah, we would love to have a quick demo. Let's hear from Wayne and Maxine first. Wayne, are you able to unmute now? Can you hear us?
Hallelujah. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh dear, I'm not sure what was happening. My computer was just stuck and I just couldn't do a thing with it. And eventually I was just like sort of flicking around, and eventually it suddenly freed itself.
Well, you're with us now, so you know, thank you for persisting and, you know, being here today. I gave you a really brief introduction to your title and where you work. So Wayne, please do introduce yourself. And I mentioned you're representing Seeability on the BAME Vision Committee, but please also share Lance is also you know, part of our team.
Sure, no problem. And also just to point out that I'll be giving my presentation in English, but also to emphasize the importance of multilingualism, if you like. I will be saying a few words in French to kind of prove the point. Okay, well, nice to be with you all this afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Wayne Chapman. As Bhavini explained to you, I work for Seeability as an eye care champion for people with learning disability and autism. My role essentially is to promote access to the correct eye care, because the prevalence of sight loss amongst people with learning disabilities and autism is very high. And so often the eye care is just not even thought about, or it might be ignored, and nothing is done about it. And this can, for anybody, can be very traumatic. But particularly for the people that we support, it may be even more of a problem, because there is a lack of vocabulary to express what exactly is happening. And also there may be some people who cannot speak at all, and therefore it's even worse for them. And as a result, the mental health link with sight loss must be even greater. So that's why I'm here this afternoon. Je me présente Wayne Chapman, je travaille pour C-Ability en tant que champion des soins oculaires pour les gens qui sont troublés d'apprentissage ou autistes. Notre travail est très important parce que souvent, les gens dans ce groupe sont souvent ignorés quand il s'agit de la cécité, la déficience visuelle. Et en fait, leurs problèmes visuels ne sont pas toujours remarqués, ou même s'ils sont remarqués, ils sont souvent ignorés, ou quelquefois, il n'y a rien qu'on fasse pour mieux aider les gens à apprécier l'importance de leur vue, l'importance d'indépendance, etc. Okay, so as Beverley explained, I work with my colleague Lance, who's also an eye care champion at C-Ability. Lance has autism and he does not have visual impairment, and therefore I assist him when I come to the meetings of the BAME Vision Committee. J'assiste mon collègue Lance à ce comité parce que Lance est autiste et souvent, il a besoin de moi pour l'aider à mieux apprécier ce qui se passe dans les réunions. Okay, so for anyone who has gone through sight loss, it can have an enormous effect on mental health, as Beverley explained. There can be feelings of anxiety or depression and isolation. I myself have not had sight loss. I was born blind from birth. Nonetheless, I have worked for RNIB for many years on their helpline as an information officer, and I am only too aware of the stress that mental health can actually bring when it concerns somebody going through a sight loss journey. J'ai travaillé au passé pour l'RNIB dans le service d'assistance où je donnais des renseignements et de l'entretien pour les gens qui ont perdu la vue. Alors, souvent, je comprends seulement très bien, bon, moi personnellement, je suis né non-voyant, alors j'ai jamais connu vraiment la perte de vue, mais quand même, ce que j'ai apprécié, c'est le stress. Vous voulez que les
Wayne, you're muted again. That's it. Great.
Je ne sais pas vraiment trop ce qui s'est passé là-bas. OK. So essentially, ce que je disais, c'est que souvent, si quelqu'un subisse la perte de vue, c'est bien probable qu'il va avoir des problèmes de la santé psychologique, si vous voulez. Alors, peut-être qu'ils vont penser, mais est-ce que c'est vrai? Est-ce que ça se passe? Pourquoi moi? Et même les gens qui sont troublés d'apprentissage peuvent aussi avoir ces mêmes sentiments, mais ils n'ont pas toujours les capacités de s'exprimer comme nous. I was just saying about, for example, in French, about how people with sight problems experience mental health problems. They may also experience the, oh, you know, why me? Is it really happening, etc. And even people with learning disabilities may have this kind of experience, but might not always have the capacity to actually explain what is happening. So therefore, eye care is very important for all, and there is an enormous link between eye care and mental health. Il y a vraiment un grand lien entre les soins oculaires et la santé psychologique. Okay, so my team of eye care champions, we all have different disabilities. So as I say, there's me who's totally blind. There's my colleague Lance, who comes to the BAME Vision Committee, who is not visually impaired. However, he does have mild autism. And my other colleague, Grace, has a visual impairment and also a learning disability. So how do we champion better eye care and improve things? Well, a number of ways, really. We give presentations and webinars face-to-face and also online. Well, face-to-face mainly because of the pandemic. Sorry, online because of the pandemic, which is Friday afternoon. And I think these computer problems clearly are making me get my words wrong. Let's at least tease that. So essentially, we give presentations online or face-to-face. When possible, we attend forums and exhibitions. We also speak to clinicians about how to improve things for people with learning disabilities. Next week, we are hosting a webinar for anyone to attend regarding eye care for people with learning disabilities and autism. And essentially, we also answer inquiries and we signpost to relevant services in the LD and VI world, really. If ever you have any inquiries regarding anybody who may have a learning disability, who may want to know more about eye care, then please do get in touch via the BAME Vision website, for example, and then the inquiry could also be passed on, or I can give my email at the end. Okay, I'm wondering if I've said enough there, Beverley, really, actually.
Yeah, I mean, did you have anything else in your presentation that you wanted to cover?
Not really. I think apart from some statistics, if that's okay, please.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so essentially, some statistics. Okay, so adults who have a learning disability are 10 times more likely to have a sight problem. Children are 28 times. Thinking of adults for a second, this could also increase over time because the population's is aging more. 6 in 10 adults who have a learning disability have to wear glasses. The severity of sight loss often increases with the severity of learning disability. Very quickly in French, si vous prenez tous adultes des gens qui sont troubles d'apprentissage, 10 adultes peut-être auront la déficience visuelle. Avec les enfants, c'est 28 fois. Et en fait, les gens qui sont troublés d'apprentissage sont 6 fois plus possible de porter des lunettes. La sévérité de cécité, souvent, s'accroît avec la sévérité des troubles d'apprentissage. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. And those figures actually do help to put things into perspective and also just inform, like, just myself, and I know others have kind of felt that, people with learning difficulties or who are or autistic, that actually they don't get to have an eye test, or but actually everyone, there's ways of adapting eye care, and it doesn't matter of your age, whatever disability, whatever your situation is, an eye test can be made possible. The professionals know what they are doing, so please don't let anything be a barrier. Please do go and get your eyes tested. We've been sharing messages all week why it's important to do so, and one of the most common things is, which Beverley alluded to, is because early detection of anything is actually preventable in terms of it could possibly stop sight loss if it's picked up early enough. We heard how diabetes can be picked up from an eye test, and how, if it's any of those symptoms are picked up early enough. So please do get your eyes tested regularly. And we've just heard from Wayne, who gave perfect examples why it's important to do so, and it's perfectly possible for people with learning difficulties. Thank you, Wayne, for that. And we at the BAME Vision have actually learned quite a lot in terms of just producing our documents in easy read. We think we change our documents to suit those with learning difficulties, but actually it's been quite important to highlight simple language for anyone that may not have English as their first language. And our mission is to create all of our documents in easy read because it's easily understood by everyone. Sometimes we try so hard to put these fancy big words into our documents and our strategies or whatever it may be, and it doesn't make you sound any more professional than easy to understand documents are. So, you know, we love having civility around our table. I'd like to now introduce Maxine Plowden, who'll be talking about living with coloboma. She'll be sharing the signs and symptoms of the condition, but also her volunteering experiences and having a degree after going to university. So how she's managed to do all of those things. So Maxine, welcome, and please do introduce yourself.
Hi, Rena. I'm Maxine. I'm actually at the moment. I'm actually a volunteer for free sight loss charities, working on their social media pages. But let me start off with coloboma, which is actually my eye condition. This is a condition is actually as a result of during the birth when the eye is actually developing, so it can affect in three ways. Either genetically, or through environments, like mother could be taking drugs or something like that, or the mother could be ill. So it's actually a condition that develops during as the development of the eye. The three types. There's there's the iris coloboma, lens coloboma, and optic coloboma. It has another name, but it's difficult for me to pronounce. So the iris coloboma has like a pin shape. It's just like a heart shape, but this actually can be slightly corrected, not correctly, because none of this condition actually can actually be treated, or the only way to get treated like eyes, but it can't be completely cured or anything like it. Can't be cured. Most lens vision is also the same. Most people with coloboma have different light perception, so the light density goes through. For me personally, I've got optic coloboma. That's when the lens from the eye, with the back of the optic vision that leads to the eye, there's no vision, there's no sight for me, and there's no retina. So for me, that's unfortunately, luckily for me, unfortunately, I've actually got sight having no retina, which is really a bit strange. Doctors can't explain that. Let me start off my sight loss journey, I suppose. Well, as Wayne said, as far as concerned, I haven't had sight loss because I was born with my impairment.
Sorry, Maxine, I don't want to interrupt you. Can I just ask those that are not speaking to mute yourself? I can hear, I think, a screen reader in the background. Thank you. Sorry, Maxine, please do continue.
I was like Wayne. I had my sight from birth, as I explained that this condition develops during the development of the eye. I went to a day visual impairment schools from time I was a child to 16. Then I attended mainstream training school, have a regular eye test. And also a part of my condition is can also affect, you can also have I can have I've also got another sensory impairment, not sensory impairment, I could also have hearing impairment that usually comes along sometimes with this condition. So you could have two sensory conditions at the same time. I managed to go after leaving school. I went to college, as I'm sure I wanted to do. I didn't have much help. And that was really helpful because I didn't really understand my condition. Didn't really know what I was doing, because I just assumed that I just couldn't read or something, or read like that, or pretend like you were stupid or things like that. Eventually I went to another mainstream college, which they were very good. I had people that helped me. Tutors had papers for me, got the things that I needed. So I was helped that way. The whole time my eyes remained stable. And I attended university. That's where it was like first time on my own. First time independence, actually on my own, without no parents, nobody. I had to cope for myself. So then I felt like first time I was actually living on my own. Living on my own. So I had to learn to get my own food. I knew how to cook anyway, but I learned how to cook for myself. Washing, so I had to get myself a routine, etc. Normal things that every person does that you've got sight. So then again, I had a uphill battle trying to get trying to get equipment done, trying to get things done. Sometimes the lecturers would remember that I needed my notes. I needed my notes to be given to me, because obviously I couldn't see what's on the screen. I had help because I got the bursary. So I was able to buy myself a computer. I didn't actually get to my final year, which is a bit disappointing. I didn't actually get a support worker to sit and actually help me type my notes, sit there, take my notes for me, tell me what was on the board. I didn't get to my final year, so I was a bit disappointed, because I could have done with that in the beginning, but that happened. I left. After I left there, I graduated in social work. My final year, got a degree. That I found a bit difficult, because people still lack of understanding by employers. I mean, it's some good employers, it's not all bad. And some good employers that didn't have an understanding of sight loss. Some didn't, so they were afraid to like employ you. Some are okay with it, as we've all experienced. So I worked in mental health, adult mental health, adult mental health, adult physical disability teams, and adult sensory needs teams. And I also did a slight transition team with children, which is a team between child services and adult services. So I did a slight there. After 10 years, I decided I actually wanted to do something else. So I left social work. I left social work. And I decided I wasn't unsure what I wanted to do. So I started volunteering. I knew I liked doing social media and Facebooks and things like that. I knew I liked doing that. So I started writing a newsletter for helping them coordinate their newsletter. And that got to the RNIB. I started working on their social, at the moment, on their social network pages. On their social network page, having their Facebook monitoring and finding and researching stuff for people with visual impairment.
Dr. Shaw has joined the meeting alert.
But what I've found is that sometimes when you get all stressed or things like that, you don't know how to relax and all that. So if I go on to mindfulness, I attended Beverley's mindfulness courses this year, and I didn't realize that your body, how you're feeling, how you're mentally feeling, how your body's feeling, is not actually how you go for a really stressful situation. I didn't realize how it could affect your body, your mind. So I didn't know you actually have to sometimes listen to your body. For me, that's what I found mindfulness was about. So it was about me staying away, sort of like taking a time out. Here, time out your situation, just by closing your eyes, sitting down, listening to part of your body, just breathing in and out, listening to parts of your body which may be in pain or maybe suffering, or just leave your thoughts away from the situation, just to calm yourself down. I've actually found that very relaxing, and it's sort of like you're getting in tune, because your body's telling you, wait a minute, I need you to stop. So you just like listening to that, and it actually helps you relieve. That's what I found with mindfulness. That's what I actually have liked. Yes.
Thank you, Maxine. That was really lovely to hear your journey and how mindfulness has actually supported. Do you find that it's helped with sleep?
Yes.
Yeah.
Helped me with sleep, things like that. Because I found that I couldn't just not get sleep. One of those people that had insomniac, so I just find doing that just helped me relax my body, my brain. Because people don't often think you actually have to listen to your body. You don't think about that. You just think, you just don't think about that. It's that way that has taught me.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Beverley, I'm just thinking, Pravit, do we have any questions in the chat box at this stage?
Stop video part.
Say at this very moment there's nothing at all in the chat box.
Okay, that's fine. So I guess, Beverley, I mean, if you're up for doing a quick demonstration about, exploring and showing us what mindfulness actually is, how to practice this, and, please feel free afterwards to share more about your courses.
Yes. Oh, thank you very much. Yes. So as Maxine was saying, we often don't realize how much stress we hold in our body. And through mindfulness, we can discover how to let go of stress in different bits. So one of the ways that we can do this is through doing the body scan, which is something where you just pay attention. Like I said about mindfulness, it's paying attention in the present moment. So we just pay attention to different parts of our body. But what I wanted to share with you, I can combine this paying attention to your body with the breath as well. So what you will learn when you first do mindfulness is how to sit, how, even how to lie. We don't realize how much we don't think about these things. We get into what you might call automatic pilot. So when you learn mindfulness, you'll say, we were all rushing around, when we were getting on the tube, before lockdown, all just waking up, getting dressed, getting showered, rushing off, going to work, having lunch, talking to our colleagues, doing our work, rushing home, doing things, and we're not thinking. And that's where we can start holding stress in our body. So if we can just try and find ourselves in a comfortable seat, you don't have to sit rigidly, but it's being an awareness and awakeness in your body. So if you try to relax too much, then we often fall asleep. So try and feel your feet on the floor. Imagine there's a string at the top of your head. So pulling your head up to the ceiling so that you drop your shoulders. Feel the back of your chair. Feel your spine on the back of your chair. You don't have to sit upright. Just feel the natural curve of your spine. Feel your buttocks on the chair. And then your hands, just place your hands upwards in your lap. If you can, without any strain. Nothing should cause you any strain. And then chin slightly in to your chest, just slightly in, so that you can then feel the back of your neck relax. And, just try and drop your shoulders, just in this short meditation practice to teach you how to sit. And that's what you will first learn when you do in a mindfulness class, how to sit. You can sit on the floor if you like, cross-legged. If you can do that, it's up to you. But with mindfulness, it's as you are able to, with no strain. So you can close your eyes or keep them open. If you have sight, you can have a soft gaze. And that's just finding a spot somewhere with a soft gaze, eyelids slightly closed, whatever feels comfortable to you. So what you do is bring your attention to the weight and the gravity of your body. Just bring your attention to the weight and the gravity of your body. So what I mean by that, any sensations you can feel. So like your buttocks on the chair where you make contact. Any points of contact. Feet on the floor, hands in your lap. Just a gentle awareness. You don't have to do anything. Just an awareness of your feet, your hands, your buttocks, back against the chair. And the way gravity naturally pulls us down. Just explore the sensations for a moment. And this is sometimes where people realize the holding, what they're holding. And then finally, bring your attention gently to your breath. And it's normal breathing. No, don't force your breath. Where is your breath in your body? Just ask yourself the question. Where is my breath in my body? Could be in your nostrils, your throat, your chest, your tummy. And if you're finding it difficult, Place your hands on your stomach. Just gently rest your hands, one hand on your stomach, and feel the gentle rise and fall of your breath. And try to alleviate from your mind any feeling of, I should be doing it this way, I'm not doing it right. It is what it is. Just feel the gentle rise and fall of your stomach. Stay with your breath for a second. Stay with the gentle rise and fall of your breath, wherever it's located in your body. And if you find that your mind is wandering, one of the things about mindfulness is that we all have busy minds. We can't get away from the fact that we all have busy minds. So if that is happening, pulling you away from your breath, just gently guide yourself back. No judgment. So if you find yourself thinking about what you're going to do next, what you have to do later or tomorrow, just imagine those thoughts as if they were on a movie screen in front of you. And then gently guide yourself back to your breath, time and again. No judgment. The breath is our anchor to bring us back to the present moment. The breath is your anchor. And then gently let go of every effort, all effort. And then again, begin to feel your feet on the floor, your buttocks on the chair, your spine against the back of the chair. And then when you're ready, come back into the room. Open your eyes if you have them closed, just become more present. And if anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you, Beverley. That was really, really, I'm going to say relaxing, because it really was. It's so important just to actually just take some time out and just stop, you know.
Yeah.
We've heard from all of you today how stress, anxiety, worry are associated with sight loss, and of course they are. Like, you know, right from the beginning, when you're getting your symptoms, you know, you're not sure, especially if it's new, you're the first one in your family, and you're not sure why things are happening, why your vision's changing, and then going through that procedure where you go for so many tests until you get your diagnosis, and then you get the dreaded news about you've got sight loss, and how you're going to manage, you know, 100 things go running through your mind. But it doesn't stop, in particular if you've got one of those conditions like me, retinitis pigmentosa, which continually deteriorate. So, you know, you've got to a point where you've learned to adapt, you've learned to manage, and you found a way of just getting by. And then your sight deteriorates yet again. And you know, traveling, whether it's just going to the shops, whether it's going to work, employment, educate. I mean, it doesn't stop, does it? And now the pandemic, all the changes to our streets and just getting, I mean, yeah, I just want to say thank you. And, you know, it's real. It can happen to any one of us at any time. But the impact all of this can have on our eyesight is real as well. And it's so important to just practice whatever it may be, just breathing, mindfulness, meditation. And that was beautiful. So yeah, I would like to open it up for questions or even comments. If you have any, you know, feel free to unmute or pop it into the chat, and Pravat will read them out for us.
Hi, Sharifa speaking. I think that was great. I really do agree with you, Bhavani, on that, on mindfulness and mental health. I experienced quite a lot of anxiety growing up. I have a similar story to Maxine. Was it Maxine?
Yes, Maxine.
Yeah, I have a similar story to Maxine. I also have Coloboma and nystagmus, and navigating through mainstream was really difficult for me. And I experienced a lot of depression and anxiety because my peers were like, they were doing different things. They were starting to drive, choosing what colleges to go to. And it was like, with me, I had to think about everything. So that caused a lot of anxiety for me. And when it came to being independent as well, my parents, they always kind of pushed me to be independent, because growing up in an African household, it was like, they knew that I was struggling, but they're really stubborn. African Caribbean community, they're really stubborn when it comes to anything disability or mental health. So I've always had to kind of push myself for more to be independent. And now that I'm a freelance access and inclusions consultant, I can see how different disabilities affects the mental health. And it is really important to always look after your mental health, as well as your eye condition, and to always find someone to talk to, and not to keep things to yourself. So yeah, this workshop was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for your comment. Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Sharifa.
Sharifa, thank you. Thanks for your comment. Did I hear anyone else trying to jump in there? I think I heard a male voice.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I've just joined you first time. It was very nice listening to you all, because I was just waiting for my cataract surgery, right eye cataract surgery. And my name is Mr. Kamlesh Parmar, Shantilal Parmar from Leicester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. Yeah. You're right.
I'm just. Oh, you're right. My cousin. Yeah. I had somebody your father kindly sent me the message that there's a program today. It's very, very wonderful, and I appreciate, because I was just told I was just everything for my cataract surgery for 5 years now. It was a long time, but I just hope for the best. But as when I went with my wife to this doctor, he told me it is 50-50, but I'll just go for it. And even anything happens, I'll just go for it. Yeah.
Kamlesh, please join on Sunday. We have a special our session, our theme Sunday now. It's for dry eyes and cataracts, and we'll also have a specialist in glaucoma. So if you have specific questions, that will be the session to ask.
All right, thank you. And can you please send me the details? Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for joining, Kamlesh. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, nice meeting you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any comments or questions?
Yes, I've got a question. My name is Jas. I just wanted to ask you, on Thursday, they were discussing how eye health, how to clean the eyes with warm water. I didn't catch it properly. Can somebody explain that to me again, please?
Yeah, Jayshree, are you able to do that?
Yeah, so basically you want to go to the washroom, you want to clean your eyes with warm water, as warm as you can sort of take, don't burn your eyes or anything, but just warm water, and use a clean flannel and basically rub from top to bottom. So from the top of your eyes to the bottom. So you're rubbing gently on your lids, and you're just basically, just bringing the eyes and washing the eyes like that. That's what you're trying to do, basically. So from top lid to bottom lid. Just
Is
one smooth down.
Okay, that's
All right.
true. Because if you don't do that, sometimes you get ducts locked or something.
Yeah, you get little crusty bits, and you get, it all gets sometimes a little bit crusty. So all you're doing is, by warming it, you're warming the sort of the little oils in the little glands there. And then by rubbing down, you're just bringing them out. So it cleans all the debris, all the dirt and all the bits and pieces that are there. So it's important to keep good hygiene and do that regularly.
Thank you. Thank you
No
very
worries.
much.
No worries.
And we recently heard that actually cotton wool is not advisable, because sometimes the residue from cotton wool, if you're using that, putting it, underwater just to clean your eyes, sometimes that could, it's not the best way.
It's the little fibers. The fibers basically catch on your eyelids, so that's not so good. Just like a soft flannel will do.
Yeah.
Better. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I have a question,
Oh yeah, go.
please.
Yeah, go.
Yeah. Since you mentioned about, cleaning your eyes, what about splashing the water in your eyes early in the morning? I think that's what has been sort of taught by my parents ever since I was young. And funny enough, for the past 2 years, I've been to the optician and my numbers have not increased. So what is going on?
I can't answer that one in terms of your numbers not increasing. Maybe you're taking care of yourself. Anything that takes care of yourself, anything that helps in taking care of yourself works. So that could be good diet, exercise, health, being more conscious, looking after your eyes. All of that adds up, okay? And the numbers can change as your eyesight changes. If you get cataract, sometimes the number gets a little bit less, okay? So things can change. The important thing is that you go for your eye examination on a regular basis and maintain eye hygiene and make sure that you're looking after yourself generally health-wise as well. Hope that answers the question.
But yeah, well, I was just wondering whether is it a good thing to sort of splash cold water in your eyes?
Yeah, that's okay. It's not going to do any harm, but just nice and gentle. The point of the eye hygiene is that if it's warm and you're pushing down, you're basically trying to get all the little oils that might be stuck in the little glands there. That's why. That's the idea of that. But yeah, that's fine.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
No worries.
I think it's important to highlight, if you're a contact lens wearer, we often hear, don't go for a shower with them. Don't go swimming with them. I think that's really important to highlight. Just be mindful when you're cleaning your eyes, actually removing your contact lenses.
Water and contact lenses are not good bedfellows, Bhavini. They do not go. In fact, you can get eye infections and quite nasty eye infections. So water and contact lenses do not mix.
No.
Yeah.
We're almost at the end of our session, but I just want to make sure that everyone's had an opportunity to say what they, any comments or ask any questions. Is there anybody else?
Bhavini, can I just
can I say something?
Yeah, just hold on 1 second. I think, Pravat, did you say someone had a comment?
There's a comment that becomes a question, and that's someone thanking for the meditation exercise, but how to control mind wandering around when meditated.
Beverley?
Get back to breath.
Think you need to mute, Beverley.
Yes, sorry, I had myself muted. It's a constant issue. So it's something in mindfulness where it's one of the things that encouraged me to do mindfulness, to accept that we all have minds that wander. There's nothing that we can do about wandering minds, but it's with practice. That's all I can say. So it takes practice. So the trick I gave you today with trying to think of the wandering thoughts as a movie screen in your mind, if you can imagine that, either visually in your mind, if you have had sight and you can do the visual thing. If you haven't had sight, then the thought of it being, like audio description maybe in your mind, you can do that. But it's the technique is to imagine the thoughts or hear the thoughts in your head and then bring yourself back to the breath. And even if you have to do it 100 times, this is what all meditation or mindfulness practitioners will tell you. Even if you have to do that 100 times, that's part of the practice. So you have the thoughts, bring yourself back to your breath. if it's a continual problem, then I would say try the body scan, because that takes you out of your head. And the body scan is concentrating on sensations, your different parts of your body. So you start off with your feet, and then you gradually move up the body to your head. So the body, you can get all sorts of meditation. I'm not sure if there's any way that I can get some websites or some apps to people through Bami Vision, if I can do that. So
yeah, we'll share them with everyone.
Yeah, so some apps that you can find, free apps. Also, you can come to insightmind.co.uk, which is my my business, where we are going to be practicing mindfulness in. I did a mindfulness and poetry course, which Maxine took part in earlier this year. So anything that will, as a distraction, but if you can find anything about the body scan, can Google it and find a free meditation of the body scan. I can try and put one up as well for you to access. That would be an excellent way of trying to get rid of the constant mind wandering. But it's a human hazard, unfortunately. We all have it.
Thanks, Beverley. And I think one final question. I think the lady tried to come in there. Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Yes, that was Ushma.
Ushma.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Me.
It's been very interesting.
Yeah.
And
I just wanted to sort of
hang on.
Good afternoon. I just
two people talking.
Yeah. So let's have Ushma Ben first, and then Madhubala Ben.
Okay. Thank you very much about these courses. They've been very interesting. I wanted to ask a condition my husband suffers. Like in 2013, when he went to the optician, they say, he had almost lost vision in one eye, and they say there was some fluid collecting in the back of his eye. And then, when they did follow-ups and retina screening and all sorts, they found it disappeared after 6 months. Then recently this year, he's been for a nice eye checkup. On the other eye, the fluid is collected. And 3 months later, the fluids disappeared. And first time it happened, they said it's a condition that pilots get when you are really under stress. And they have a special name, it's a stress related, and pilots suffer on that one. So, like we were going through a stressful time because we had started a kitchen project and that company went bust and we were 3 months without a kitchen. So that all settled. But recently he's had again fluid show up. Can you advise about that? It keeps on.
So the important thing there, Ushma, is to keep in touch with the eye care professionals that are looking after your husband and keep them engaged. Make sure if anything changes in the vision, immediately that you tell them that things are changing, and keep the monitoring going. Okay. I'm not sure of the condition you're talking about. There's a couple of different things it could be. So the important thing is to make sure that you ask them, are there any websites that you go to? Is there any other information that you can get hold of? And I'm happy to come offline with you and have a chat to you about that. I'm not 100% sure what the condition is that you're talking about. There are lots of different conditions. And today's workshop has been fantastic in looking at the mindfulness and the mental anxiety that people go through when you have problems with your eyes. That showcases exactly what's going on, because mental conditions, if you think about it, an eye condition is just not one thing on its own. You've got other stresses in life. You've got your kitchen project going on in the background, which is stressful enough, as we all know. Houses, kitchens, lots of people have been doing lots of things in lockdown. So I appreciate, absolutely the mental stress that you and your husband must be going under. The important thing is to ask the professional that's looking after your husband, what is it that we can do to help? Is there anything else we need to do? Is there anybody that you can send us to help us with a bit of counselling? RNIB offer counselling, and the Macular Society offer free counselling. And if all it means is that you can talk to somebody about it, even that can unburden and just give you a little bit of relief. Does that help, Ushma?
Thank you very much.
No
yes,
worries.
yeah, we'll keep it on check. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
And Madhubala Ben?
Final question, yeah.
Can I just ask a quick question to Jayashree Ben?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, through the lockdown, have you found that a lot of people have been sort of getting glasses or their eyesight have become worse?
Yeah, lots
because
of people
that was
have.
one thing that I sort of thought that during the lockdown, people are all in the house and most of them are either watching television or technical devices.
Yeah. And that's been a problem.
So I was wondering whether it is on the increase, and nobody came and talked about it, sort of saying that you need to look after your eyes. And I thought to myself that, once the lockdown is over, you will see a lot of people with glasses.
Yeah.
I mean, I was making a joke, but it's
no, that's fine. That's
joke.
okay. So eye examinations, opticians have kept open during the lockdown. Opticians have kept open and have been looking after people's eyes through the lockdown, because we realize that lots of people have been spending lots of time at home, indoors, watching TV, doing activities, inside the house. So you're right, there is a lot more, sort of need. And lots of people have then also have difficulty with things like broken glasses. They don't have a spare pair of glasses, all this sort of stuff. The important thing is the lockdown, if anything, has highlighted how important it is to have proper vision, good vision, okay? And make sure that your eyes are looked after. At the moment, you can get eye examination appointments, and there has been lots of stuff on social media about looking after your eyes. Whether those messages are getting through or not, I don't know. This is the reason why we have National Eye Health Week. It's a whole week worth of press. It's in the papers, it's in the radio stations, there's interviews. The idea is to get the message out there, okay? That you need to, it's not a 1 week thing. This is a year-long, lifelong thing about looking after eyes. Pandemic or no pandemic. Important thing is you should go and have your eyes checked and looked after. If you need glasses, great. If you don't need glasses, great. Doesn't really matter. The important thing is to look after your eyes and look after your mental health. I hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you very much. It has been wonderful going through all the throughout the week about looking after your eye, and especially like most of the Asian people, they have got diabetes, so it has been absolutely crucial and wonderful, and I can't thank you enough. And Beverley, when you were doing the mindfulness, I've done the course and I just fell asleep.
You're awake now, so there's no problem. You're back with us.
Oh, thank you, Mother Balaban, for your lovely comments.
Yes, I am.
Thank you. I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it there. We have a slightly overrun, but I really wanted to make sure that people got their questions in. If there are any additional people with further questions, our final workshop is on Sunday the 26th of September, starting at 1 p.m. The focus for that one is dry eyes, cataracts, and we'll be talking a little bit about eye drops and glaucoma, but we'll make sure we have a longer session for Q&A, because there have been a number of you who have emailed us that you've thought of questions after the workshop, so we will give you that opportunity to ask your question. And please do join us. If you've registered and you've received the links for this week, you'll automatically get the Sunday one. If you haven't, and today was your first session and you'd like to join, please email info@bamevision.org, and we'd love to have you there on Sunday's session. We'll have an expert, Mandy from SCO, and Subhash Satar will be also presenting, and we'll hear from Ifsal Khan, who'll be talking about living with multiple eye conditions. And we'll have a longer session for Q&A. So thank you so much to everyone who's joined us. I do want to give a big wave to Enabled Living and their members. Thank you for making this session as part of your team. If you want to unmute and give us a big shout, but be mindful you are being recorded. Just want to point that out as well. So yeah, thank you to everyone who's joined, and thank you so much to Beverley, Wayne, and Maxine for presenting, and Jayashree and Pravit doing the background, making sure today's session went well. So thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Merci. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
You. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.